guys. In today's video, we are going to talk about how I feel about school in terms of what I think about school, in terms of people in school. Most generally, let's talk about the school system. Now, I am a bit confused about the school system because from what I always sometimes hear is that some people don't really agree to how the education system is set up these days. I did not look more into why they don't accept the education system now these days, but you have no choice. One way you can be successful in the future is through education, because you can show that, you can lift 100 kilograms of, I don't know, dumbbells, and then you get accepted and stuff. People look more into whether you're educated or not, because society these days, they tend to judge someone's status by having this criteria, having it in their mindset that they must be educated, or else they can't do that and do this. Now, education provides us with a lot of gifts. Number one, they are the key to success. Number two, without education, we don't know how to learn, we don't know how to write, we don't know how to speak. And education doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in a class. It can mean you can be educated at home. It can mean that you can study things through your own. Maybe you're a child prodigy, you don't have to go to school, you know shit, and then you can skip school, you can go to university and stuff and become a professor. Now, the way education system is usually set up is we study in class, but most people generally don't accept the idea that we should be studying in class. I haven't looked more into it, but from my current general perspective is that I don't find any problem with learning in classes. I mean, no shit. Things are the way it is. It's been like that since the past generation, and I mean, everyone now is gifted with education that benefits them. But let's not just highlight about who we are, but what about the rest? Now, some people are not as fortunate as we are or as privileged as we are. Some people don't even have the opportunity to go to school and study. Some people live in countries where education is not compulsory for them. That's how their system in the country is brought up. Some people living in certain countries don't really highlight education much. But many people will realize that education is everything. It marks the start of your success, and it's something that everyone has to compromise with each other. You want to get that job, you have to prove your certificate. You have to attain certain grades if you want to get promoted to another level in school. But generally speaking, we are all doing this submissively, because this is how the world works. And for those who are less privileged, yes, it's a pity, but I mean, what can we do? All we can do is we try to provide opportunities for children who are less fortunate or privileged to study. I do not have the authority to do that. What I have the authority to do is just to just to speak up for human rights, because everyone deserves education. Everyone needs to learn and stuff. And for those people who take education for granted, fuck you. Like, even if you may be genius, you may be talented, everyone needs education. My parents personally, they're not brought up educate they're not educatedly well brought up. It means they don't really finish their school. They did go to school, but after a while they stop. And if they didn't go to school, it'd be impossible for me to be here today. So they did go to school, except they didn't continue school because they were financially unstable. And both my parents don't come from a rich family, and I admit that I am certainly not a rich person. But both my parents, they work hard to get what I want, my brother want, and they work hard for our family basic necessities every single day. And for them, they don't earn much. They earn a lower income salary. For my mom, she doesn't earn more than 1K as long as my dad. Well, for that, I don't really know, but for you to survive, I think you need more than 1K. You have to pay the bills, you have to do this, you have to do that, etc. Because the salary you gain, it's not just for your basic necessities like eating and stuff. You also have to pay back what is provided to you, like the water, the lights and shit. Now, but my mother, I pitied her because she's actually a brilliant woman, just like my father. He's a brilliant man. They both are smart, except that they don't really have the opportunity to study further. My mom, she tried to get into English classes. My mom doesn't speak fluent English, but she can understand, as well as my dad. But both of them, mentally, intellectually, they're not really there yet. They don't speak fluent English, they don't write fluent English, but yes, they can still speak alright. My mom knows Malay language well, my dad knows Malay language well. The only problem is English, because all of us are actually, all of us in this society today, we are actually making English a compulsory to live, because English is such a compulsory language to all of us, because we are mostly influenced by the Western culture, this and that, and it's like English is our first language. And then when we communicate with people of different race, we speak English. And then when we don't communicate with them anymore, we switch back to our alien language, our born gifted language. Like for me, it's Malay language and stuff. So when I meet people who are not my race, usually we communicate in English. And when I usually meet people my race, we switch back to Malay. So it's like English is the topmost language to learn, because everyone in the world communicates with English. And then I think English is most likely to be used now and in the future, because look at the movies we watch. Everything is under influence by the Western European countries. So it's like we submissively have to talk that way. That's one thing. Now, I'm still a little bit on the confused side, but where were we? My life in school. So like I said, education, we have no choice. That's how the system is fixed on. We have to create education. We have to be part of education. Because that's the key to our success. Some people that do not have education, but they can be successful. It was because they work really, really hard to become who they are today. But the most important and the most crucial part is education. It's very vital in our lives. never forget education, and spread awareness, raise human rights for those who are not privileged to receive any type of education. And speaking of that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do very well in school. If you're getting an average grade or above, it's already good enough. As long as your key fits in the padlock of success, as long as your key fits into the padlock of success, then it'll be good. You don't have to do extremely well in school just to be successful. You can just make it a average, because what matters most is that your grades don't define who you are. Everyone is unique and we have our own talent. And like I said, yeah, you don't have to do very academically well. You just need to submissively follow how the system works. You do well, you get your certificate, then bam, you got the key to success and liberty. And meanwhile, you're focusing on your studies because you're being enforced to. You can try to find out what is unique about you. Begin to find out more about yourself, because your talent, your gift is important, because they are your planners. They plan for your future. And from that, you know who you want to be in the future. If you're clueless and you just blindly be submissive to the education system and you have no plan for the future, then good luck with that, because most likely you're going to suffer for the rest of your life doing things that you don't want to do. Now, I don't have plenty of time for how I feel about school, but I'll be doing a video of it later, and thanks for watching.